Cheese coming back on there.
Yeah, all Cheese got me on this weekend's matchups for sure. He made a lot of good picks. As you can see, I don't want to show my face today because, Teddy B let me down. He let me down, boys. But we're going to go ahead and kind of just recap what happened over this past weekend. I'm going to start out with the Chicago Bears and the Carolina Panthers, man. Teddy, what the heck are you doing? He threw it to the team 2 times, one right whenever we were inside the 5. Chicago didn't have to do too much to score on that drive, and it was a 1-score game. So we didn't play bad football almost the whole entire game. Our defense really locked them down. They gave us a chance, and then our offense just couldn't do it. Our receivers dropped some big passes. They made a lot of good plays too, but man, Teddy just can't make those 2 mistakes. And if he doesn't make those mistakes, I think we do end up winning that game. But it is what it is. I take my L's, and that's one you got on me. You picked the Bears.
Yeah, defense is kind of why I kind of steered toward them, man, and that's kind of what helped them out in the long run. And plus, football just being football, there was points in that game where it could have went either way, no doubt. But the Bears, the ball rolled their way pretty good. Defensively, they were kind of relentless and trying to do confusing matchups and put pressure on Teddy and things like that. But overall, it wasn't an awful game. Foles still hasn't impressed me, but I think he's getting more relaxed into the system. But I still don't think Bears to be an outstanding team to watch out for or anything like that. It's an NFL game right there, man. But yeah, I got lucky. I got one up on you on that one.
Yeah, just the pressure. Our O-line, they didn't allow a sack on Teddy, I think, in the past couple games, and then they finally just Khalil Mack wreaked havoc and Akeem Hicks. Yeah. So, dang it, Teddy. Anyways.
Teddy 2 gloves.
I'm going to go ahead and skip over that one. I don't really want to talk about it. I'm salty. I'm really salty. So, all you Chicago fans, congratulations. Whatever, we'll come back.
Well, let me rip the Band-Aid. Because I'm salty too, man. Look, I'm salty too. I'm not even going to let my helmet hang right now, man. Green Bay, we both missed that one. We've been firing on all cylinders, came out, man, and it looks like we had just shit hit the fan on that one. Buccaneers, the only time they've done it all year this year, they played an absolutely perfect game in almost all concepts. So, dude, toward the end of that one, I was getting so pissed off. I think I just got on the game. I didn't even watch the end of that one. They were firing. Gronkowski looked a lot better. Our defense looked out of whack. Didn't look like we knew how to cover people like we haven't been covering people and covering good receivers. Tampa Bay, at some point, I thought they were going to shoot out of that cannon and things were going to start clicking, and hell, it started last night. So, yeah, that one pissed me off, man, and knocked my pack off, man. The Packers, I think, definitely not being biased, will still be fine, though, and they'll bounce back and things like that. I think it's a short-term thing. I don't think it's going to turn into a consistent thing. But Tampa looked good, too, and that defense, man, that defense is swarming.
Yeah. So, Green Bay's coming off a bye. They always usually play a little bit sluggish coming off their byes year to year. It's one of those things. They will, I think, get it back together. They're still running that division. But Ndamukong Suh, I want to just highlight that guy because, he was in Detroit and playing Aaron Rodgers for so long, for so many years. That dude looked possessed. Every time that he even got a chance to touch Aaron Rodgers, he was trying to just annihilate him.
And I'm going to tell you straight up, Aaron Rodgers is one of my superhumans, but
got in his head.
Got into his head. He got into his head and made him play not to his ability. I know when Rodgers gets that look in his eyes, man. He was flustered, and also he was in his head. Yeah. You're right. He was on his tail.
Tristan Wirfs actually had a really good game. Blocking both the Smiths. They established a really good running game early and often. That was not a good sign for you guys, just because you have Minnesota, you have Chicago in that division, right? So teams that want to run that ball, they got locked up. I think, like you said, they'll be fine. And next week's another week. They're still 4-1, so nothing too much to worry about. I'm just mad because now we're not number one in the division. We ended up losing So that put the Bucs clearly at number 1 with a 4-2 record. So whatever.
And I told you too, man. We said this earlier when we first started this thing that Jones had to be that every down back, and Jones looks good. And
he only had 15 yards.
Huh?
He only had 15 yards.
Oh, I thought he had way more than that. Well, hell, it looked like it when they played. Somebody did. But
I'm not sure if he got hurt or.
I started getting pissed off. I quit watching that.
Yeah. It was so bad for both of our teams. Those are our homer picks, and both of them lost. But, Cheese ended up getting a lot of picks this week. I think he was 9-3, and I was 7-5. So still over 500. Did all right. Next game we're going to talk about is – which one are we going to talk about?
Let's just go down the list. Let's go Texans-Titans, man. Texans tried to stay in there. They're playing better ball right now. I think they got the stuff they needed to get out of the franchise, and they did, and they're still playing good ball, but they're running against a really good Titans team, man. The Titans are firing on all cylinders, and Derrick Henry, like I've said before, is a thoroughbred, man. And when he gets going and then he starts just elongating the game, oh, man, it's hard to come back from that. And it's hard to stop that and get yourself back into a rhythm if you're an opposing team. But, yeah, Titans look good. I got that one right. But, yeah, they Texans were doing all right, man. They just squared up against one of the heavy hitters this year, I think. So.
Yeah, and the Titans, they're a good football team. I like what Mike Vrabel's doing. Derrick Henry broke that 93-yard touchdown or however long it was. So
yeah.
He ended up getting over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was an awesome week for him in fantasy. A.J. Brown and Ryan Tannehill they got a good dynamic going, and Corey Davis is coming back this next week. So I think the Titans are going to be pretty dangerous. They might win that division. It looks like for sure going to win that division. Texans made it a really good game. Deshaun Watson, you're not going to hold them down for long. They're starting to piece things together on offense, and J.J. Watt's going to get that defense together. So Texans, even though their record doesn't show it, again, at the beginning of the year, I was like, their O-line, man, they got a lot of holes. They got a lot of things to fix. And it looked a little bit like they did fix some of that, but you can't give up 30-something points and win a game. It was exciting. That was a real fun one to watch. I was over at my buddy Kyle's and whenever A.J. Brown went up and got that last-second touchdown and put it in overtime, dude, I was going nuts. Yeah. But
they're getting better. They're not getting worse. They're getting better. And they're not like, well, they couldn't got much worse. No, they're legitimately getting better.
Yeah. And we both got that one right, so that's awesome. I do want to just go ahead and tell you guys that the Bills and the Chiefs are playing right now as we speak. The Chiefs ended up going down, driving it down. Patrick Mahomes threw a touchdown to Travis Kelce at 7-0, and then Buffalo has a field goal right now, and they're driving. That's a really exciting game. Yeah, better go turn that one on. It's really exciting because
5:45. I didn't even check the time. What?
I'm going to be honest with you. I was going to pick the Chiefs on this one. Chiefs, were you going to pick the Chiefs or are you going to go Bills?
No, I was definitely going to pick the Chiefs on this one too, just because they're a powerhouse. Bills are coming off a loss, and I want to see how they involve Le'Veon Bell, and I want to see if he's got something to prove. To be honest with you,
well, he's a backup.
So yeah, I picked Chiefs.
He's a backup. They might give him a couple of plays that he knows, like ISO, outside zone, inside zone, things like that.
Right now, yeah, but if he gets shit clicking,
he's not gonna outperform the rookie Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The rookie hasn't done nothing wrong. He's done.
But you add him though.
Yeah,
I'll add him. Give me a 2-back system.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Hell yeah.
He did look slow. I didn't like how Le'Veon was toting the ball on the Jets offense. He's just so slow. I don't know what's going on. And the Jets suck. So.
Oh my God! It's I don't know why that All-American couldn't run behind the JV line on a Friday night because everybody was clapping him.
Yeah. Well, that one's going on right now, guys. We appreciate you tuning in if you're here watching. If not, I hope you're watching the game. Nice. So with that one, Josh Allen, it looks like he has thrown 11 passes already and only completed 3 of them. That's not good. Like I said last week, they are a run-first football team. They need to establish a run. They don't need to put the pressure on Josh Allen like that. But what do I know? I'm just a football coach. So.
Well, I just do it for a living, but I don't like it.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're doing. They can't just keep going just to try to stay with the Chiefs. They got to run, keep Patrick Mahomes off the field by running the ball, establishing that run, and then it'll open up all your passing game. So.
Yeah, we don't even have to talk about that one now. It's on. I pick Chiefs. You pick Chiefs.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Moving on.
All right, that could take us to another one though from yesterday. Ravens and the Eagles. You want to take that one away?
Yeah, that one was actually closer game than what I thought it was going to be. Lamar Jackson did amazing things. He ended up breaking one loose for like a 30-something yard rushing touchdown. He just did inside zone read and literally took it right up the gut. Nobody accounted for the quarterback. He's fast. He got loose real quick. You know, you got to contain that guy whenever you're talking about defensively trying to shut them down. And they didn't do it, but they ended up making it a real good game. Carson Wentz had a chance at the very end. It was 30-28. It was, god dang, to the wire. Eagles ended up coming back. We did ask a question like who would win that division, and somebody put the Eagles. I think the Eagles could legit have a chance, man. They aren't a bad football team, and, you know, it takes a couple weeks for them to kind of get in a rhythm and establish themselves. But
I think anybody but Washington right now has a chance to win that division.
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot of fun. I love the AFC North with Pittsburgh and the Ravens, and I was a little bit closer, too close for comfort, but they ended up pulling it out. Ravens got it done. Their defense is solid. You know, Eagles are they got a couple young guys that are stepping up on the receiving corps for you fantasy guys. I forgot what his name was, but make sure you look at that depth chart just to try to get him on your roster and rostered. What you think about that game?
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to add to what you said is, you know what sucks calling a defense against someone like Lamar Jackson. You want to keep him inside the tackles, right? You keep him inside the tackles. You're trying to just make him one-dimensional, and then he still breaks straight through the seam right up the middle inside the tackles. Like that linebacker has to drop. So and then once he gets through there and he has open space, he's like one of the best ball carriers in the league. So just that within itself helps the Ravens come back or stay close and win a lot of games this year, man. I mean, you got your hands full when you're trying to stop him, especially with other people that you got. But that just blew my mind. Like, you want to keep him inside the tackles, make him one-dimensional, make him beat you with his arm. He's still a good thrower and stuff like that. And then still, linebacker drops, and that opens up like the Red Sea. And there's not much else you call for that unless you call a spy. But then you're still putting them on one-on-one with a guy that's nowhere near athletic as him. So that being said, that just always is going to consistently make them dangerous. The same thing as like when Vic played and stuff. But, yeah, that was closer than what I thought, man. But I on that one, the better team just wound up winning. But Eagles did do more than what I thought they were going to do. I don't know, though. Ravens ain't blowing stuff out of the water for me right now these past few weeks. They're finding a way to get it done, but not what I'm expecting, you know?
Yeah. So that being one we got right, we're going to move to the Bengals and the Colts. Colts ended up going in the hole. I think it was 21 or something to nothing. And we were looking like, oh, my God, the Bengals. And then they ended up coming back. Philip Rivers, you know, putting some magic on. I don't really care too much about Philip except for the trash talk he does. but he ended up getting it done. You know, giving the Colts, they needed that win. They shouldn't lose to the Bengals. Bengals had a great game plan coming in. I think Joe Mixon's a little banged up, so Giovanni Bernard's going to get those carries now. They just didn't finish, man. They got out. They had a great game plan and could not finish. The defense started to fold, and the Colts defense ended up, you know, shutting them down. So that one was a fun one at first, and then it came back. There's a lot of close games this weekend, so I was hoping Joe Burrow could maybe get his first win, but at the same time, Colts are just a better team. They need it more than they do. What about you?
Better team. I think better coach team. They found adjustments. They found their adjustments. They took them, and then they succeeded with them. O-line toward the end helped control the line of scrimmage, and got a little bit out of arm's reach for him. Better team won, but Philip Rivers needs to be a little lucky, man. He was throwing some moon shots, man. I mean, like he was in the end zone. Looks like he's just shot putting that thing. But I mean, it was falling right in the bucket. But I mean, I do not like his throwing mechanics. I haven't never really been a big fan of his throwing mechanics, but now that he's got older, he's like punting that ball. But hey. It fell into the hands in the end zone at least twice to help him come back. And, you know, they're protecting him too. So, yeah, better team won on that one. It's all right, Joe Burrow. You're at the Bengals.
So that's going to bring us to our next one. I'm going to let you take the Falcons and the Vikings since the Vikings are in your division. I got that ass whoop. That's one that you got on me again. So tell me what happened.
They had to win. That's all it was. I didn't even look into this stuff. Like, you have to win this game. And we're in the NFL. I've seen way more crazier shit happen. And plus, the Vikings are a very wishy-washy team. They if they could find a way to be consistent, then they would be a dangerous team. Not extremely dangerous because they still have Kirk Cousins, but I think that's one of the main things that make them inconsistent. Falcons the same way though, but I think Julio Jones and Ridley and stuff like that are getting a little bit pissed off, and they just got to figure out a way to get it done defensively. Even if you throw the damn playbook away, coach, and find something else, get somebody else in there, do something defensively. Worst comes to worst, water it down. Start trying to play everyone in front of you and stuff like that. Don't get all crazy. Just find a way to get it done. They only held the Vikings at 23 points. I think that's a substantial leap for them, especially against a Vikings team that can run the ball and keep possession and clock going. But Falcons finally played like they should play, man, and they had to get this win, and they got it. And they got it over Minnesota, so hell yeah.
Like you said, they needed it. Matt Ryan balled out just like he's kind of been doing all year. He's got the passing game going. They don't really have a running game with Todd Gurley. He had 20 carries for only 40-something yards, so that's not a good average. I think he's kind of fell off, and they're probably going to go somewhere else in the future with running back. Hopefully they do, find somebody in the draft that's going to be pretty dynamic. Julio Jones had a big day, and versus a weak Vikings secondary. Alexander Madison didn't really get the carries and the yards that he was projected to get without Dalvin. Kirk Cousins threw the ball 3 times to the opposite team, and we already know what we do with turnovers 3 times a game. He threw that ball literally right to these guys, like right to them. I don't get it, Kirk. You're booty. Like just stop saying you like that. Do you like that? Like, no, I'm done with you. Get up out of here, bro.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
But the one guy, the bright spot of the Minnesota Vikings is that rookie, Justin Jefferson. He was playing with Joe Burrow at LSU, and he ended up having like 9 receptions, over 100-something yards. And that dude's legit. He's a baller. And he's trying to put up the team on his back. When you're coming down, they score 40 on your defense. There's not really too much you can do, especially in the league with a good defense. So I'm not going to harp on that one too much. That's going to bring us to the Broncos and the Patriots. That was a very defensive game. Even with Cam back, Drew Lock was back, Broncos ended up having a good enough defense to shut down all of New England, and then they ended up kicking a lot of field goals. They're a field goal machine.
Kryptonite, bro. Cam Newton's like, 0-4 against the Broncos, and that's probably his worst games in his career.
Yeah, especially in the Super Bowl.
Every time they played the Broncos, I don't know what it is, but dude, Patriots with Cam coming back and y'all making him QB1, y'all got to win that game. I don't even give a damn Lock or whatever. I don't even care if he's at quarterback. Y'all supposed to win that game, and they didn't. So that's a little bit scary for the Patriots for me.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about that. Melvin Gordon's out with DUI. I think he'll be suspended a couple times. So Philip Lindsay's a draft guy or a waiver wire target if he hasn't already been drafted. I'm pretty sure he has, though. He's on a lot of people's rosters, so keep an eye on that. He was getting the bulk of the carries this week, but didn't produce. Next week, he might have a more favorable matchup because the Patriots' defense is still pretty good. Next game we're going to talk about, Washington and football team versus the Giants. That one was really, really close, 20-19. I don't know if you ended up watching the end of that, but the football team ended up going for 2 at the end and missed. So that's why they lost. They kicked the field goal, went to overtime or whatever. But, the one thing that sticks out to me with the Giants is Daniel Jones is their leading rusher. He has 27 attempts. That's the quarterback, 27 attempts for like 206 yards, and is the leading rusher.
He broke a long one yesterday.
That's crazy, bro.
A long one. And, bro, I hate it, too, because we lost him at Green Bay, but Blake Martinez is balling right now for the Giants. The linebacker, number 50.
Yeah.
Or 51 now. Now he's at a new team. He's 51. He was 50 at Green Bay. But, dude, yeah, I mean, they still suck, but Blake Martinez is balling, dude. That's been pissing me off because I liked him when he played for us.
Yeah, Kyle Allen ended up doing pretty well for the Washington football team. I didn't watch the whole game, so he probably the third down conversion rate wasn't probably that good because of the low score. But otherwise than that, he threw 40-something passes, completed 31, 2 touchdowns, only 1 pick. I like that kid. He played Carolina for like those the full year when Cam was out, and I just think he's very promising. He takes care of the ball a little bit better than most quarterbacks, and he's a good decision maker. I don't like his throw motion either, but it is what it is. I'm not going to harp on that one too much. I'm going to go ahead and try to get to the night's game. You got anything to say or add to the Washington football team?
Nope.
All right, so the next one we're going to talk about, blowout. Okay, Steelers versus Browns. Browns are who we thought they were. They are bad. Baker Mayfield cannot handle pressure, especially in that division. You played the two best teams in that division, only scored 7 points each time. Defense, defense, defense. You preached it in the last one that we said Steelers were just running all over them. They couldn't establish a running game. Kareem Hunt couldn't get things done, and just Baker was awful. So
they cut out play action pass and the bootlegs. That's all they had to do. That's all you have to do out there, guys. I'll give you the secret to beat the Cleveland Browns. Stop the counter, stop the bootlegs. Okay, they don't even base anything else off the RPO or anything like that. It's going to be straight play action bootleg, and they stopped it. And you showed that once you cut the legs off of Mayfield, he is not very versatile. So they shut his ass down doing that. Defense won that one all day long. Offense looked good too for Pittsburgh, of course, but
yeah. Claypool, he's coming up, dude. He's coming out of nowhere. Chase Claypool. He filled in. He had a good game. James Washington ended up having a pretty good game, the other wideout. So Steelers are a little bit dangerous right there. I can't wait to watch them and Baltimore play next week. They play next week. Jeez. And I'll tell everybody at the end of the podcast how we're going to be doing this Saturday. But yeah, Chiefs handle business, or Steelers handle business. I can't even talk right now. We got 3 more games to talk about. We got the Lions versus Jaguars. Jaguars are just looking pretty bad. Lions defense ended up doing pretty well this game. Adrian Peterson was the lead back. Matthew Stafford had a pretty good game. Kenny Galladay. I know all these guys because they're pretty good fantasy assets. They're always playing from behind, so these guys are getting these passes. Matthew Stafford's never been that bad of a quarterback, and they ended up getting done versus the team they should beat. And Jaguars, Gardner Minshew, I don't know. He had that one good game first week of the season, and now he's going downhill.
Yep. Real quick, Jaguars suck. Detroit Lions are a mediocre team. 34-16. That's the ball
game. Thanks, Cheese, for that great in depth.
That's it. They barely just almost doubled the score, or barely doubled the score. So yeah, that's exactly what that was.
Wait, I got an even better one for you. We're going to talk about the Jets and the Dolphins, the worst football team in America right now. The freaking New York Jets didn't score a goddamn point. We got Father Time, Frank the Tank Gore, 37 years old, still being the starting running back. Jets are just going downhill, bro. I don't know what. I saw an article today that they said Trevor Lawrence could save Adam Gase's career. The reason why is because that guy will win games by himself. So
Trevor Lawrence will fail a test and have to go back to college for another semester instead of going to the Jets.
Yeah, please don't go to the Jets. Please don't.
Yeah, I did not want to see that, dude. The Jets are bad. They're just bad, dude. They are bad. They have nobody. They don't have good play callers. They don't have any culture right now, any tradition to come off of in the past few years or something like that. Their program is just dying. And
they've even got
Clemson would beat them. So
yeah, that'd be crazy to see.
I ain't gonna talk about the Jets. I think Clemson would beat the New York Jets.
They got drama going on inside the coaching. The head coach and D coordinator, they're going head to head, like they're talking shit about each other. So something's going wrong there. They didn't score enough points.
Yeah, I think so.
but then you got the Dolphins. Myles Gaskin handled his business. He's the lead back. Ryan Fitzpatrick throwing 3 touchdowns, But it's versus the Jets, so we can't really harp on that too much. Dolphins, I think they might make playoffs. Cheese, I think they might make those playoffs, dude. You better watch out for them Dolphins.
I told you in last one that their schedule is like one of the weakest in the league now.
Yep, so that's exciting to see. And the last game that we're going to talk about, we both got this one wrong. The Rams versus the 49ers. We thought the Rams would end up coming in, they're 4-1. They're a good football team, and then they lose the battle of the West Coast to the 49ers. Oh, Craig, he's a happy man. I know he is. He's not here in the chat with us today, but Craig called it. He's like, don't you count out my 49ers. And they ended up coming together and winning. Deebo Samuel had a good game. Brandon Ayuk had a good game, the rookie. And then the Rams, on the other hand, they drove the ball, but that's what that offense does. And then they have to punt or they turn it over. And 16 points just ain't good enough. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Nope. Defensively, they're still going to be all right. The Rams will. They got to figure it out. They live and die off of one thing. They base everything off of one thing, and I think it's because you have to keep things somewhat safe and complacent with Goff as your quarterback. Like, you have to. You can't just open up the whole playbook with this kid, I don't believe. And definitely 16 points ain't getting it done. They're not establishing anything, and I think they're trying to establish too much of one thing instead of trying to open things up. They're trying to force something to work and force it off of the play actions and the different coverages and the way they run it to either side. So when that's not working or someone has shut it down, like we've seen with Cleveland, it's almost the same concept. They can't put points on the board. Defense has helped them and will still continue to help them in a lot of games because I like the playmakers they have on defense. I think they have a pretty solid defense, but 49ers came out to play. They got some strengths. They got a lot of guys back from being banged up. But, I think they made Goff one-dimensional, man. And Goff's not good like that to just beat you by itself.
Yeah. Well, what's going on, Tanner? He said Packers blew it big time. Panthers suck too. Yeah, both of us. It's a bad week for us. You know how it is. So, but we still got to come on here and talk about it. So
I threw my helmet, Tanner. So.
Yeah, go watch the beginning of this episode. You'll really like it. 49ers look pretty good. They run the ball. George Kittle's a freak. Jimmy G's got Debo in there. They did a couple things that I didn't agree with Debo. Every now and then you can run that reverse with him, but you do it 3 to 4 times. Guess what? They're going to be waiting on it. So
yeah, are you going to have a turnover at some point? Yeah, it's too many times.
They almost blew it with that. But that's actually going to do it for our the review. We already told you that the Chiefs are playing right now. It's 7-10. Josh Allen ended up scoring passing touchdown. Let's see who to.
Hey, it's
Stephon Diggs. The Chiefs just scored again.
Travis Kelce just put it in there.
Woo, that's my boy, Travis. But so if you're over there watching that game live, it's 14. It's about to be 14-10. Old Chiefs got it behind them. And then
they're running too. I got them everywhere. I feel like I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings in my room.
So the next game that we're going to be talking about is the Cardinals versus Cowboys. We got Kyler Murray versus Andy Dalton, the new quarterback over there in Dallas.
Oh.
I think that was going to be a fun one to watch as well. Just like the Bills Chiefs is probably really fun right now. I can't wait to kind of get off this thing so I can watch it. But I got to give you some content, guys. Cheetah's got you. Cheetah's got you. We both got you. For that one, Cardinals versus Cowboys, I'm going to go with the Cardinals because I think DeAndre Hopkins and that receiving corps will light up that defense. Andy Dalton will do some good stuff, but I think he's kind of thrown in there. He hasn't got those reps yet, and the Cowboys are still struggling on that defensive side of the ball. So I think the Cardinals come in there. They do enough just to slow down Zeke and then make Andy Dalton throw the ball. Cardinals on top of the Cowgirls. Let's go.
Yeah, I feel like Cardinals have to win this one too. And then, the Cowboys do as well too, but they're going to have to at least have a game to figure it out when you talk about scheme and timing and things like that with the new quarterback coming in. And that's going to play the whole game, not just coming in for a little bit toward the end of the game. So I go with the Cardinals on that. Offense tears it up. And, the Cowboys defense never really does a good job when there's a quarterback that can run outside the pocket and make plays, or not even just run. Anytime they play a guy that can go outside the tackle and elongate those passes and make you break down your coverage as defensive backs, they always wind up struggling with that. And that's something Kyle Murray can definitely do. And defensively, I think Arizona's got enough to slow them down. Dallas is still going to score and things like that. I just think Cardinals offense slings it a little bit more higher pace than the Cowboys offense. So, yeah, I picked Cardinals on that one as well.
Yeah. So 2 good games going on tonight. We appreciate you guys tuning in. I do have an announcement because this week there's going to be no Thursday Cheetah and the Cheese because I will be in Charlotte over there with old Cheese. I don't have all my setup, but on Saturday, I'll still be in Charlotte stuff. My wife, Miss Cheetah, is actually going to be running the show. with a couple of her friends. So make sure you guys tune in, check them out. I think it's gonna be a real fun one. They got some crazy girl perspectives on the NFL and things like that. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be watching. I'll be commenting from home. So
yeah, we'll be roasting them.
No, we're not having a baby, Tanner. I haven't got her pregnant yet. We're thinking about it. It's one of those things that it'll eventually happen, but we're just trying to be smart with money and things like that. So
all right, this ain't freaking Jerry Springer, dude.
Hey, I'm just trying
to
try to give the fans a little bit of one-on-one, you know. But like I said, she's gonna be running it. It's gonna be a good time. I'll be in here in the chat with you guys, trying to just throw something together.
We are sending her our picks though.
Yes.
So make sure you know that our picks will still go in.
I got a list of every pick that we made already, and then they're going to be answering the questions. I'm going to make the questions tomorrow and send it out to you guys. So make sure you're paying attention to that. But that is actually going to do it for this episode. Make sure you go back and watch it, please. This one was a good one. It was a bad week for both of us, but it was all fun and games.
Like and share, baby.
Yeah, please share. It goes a long way. Sharing is caring. Cheetah and Cheese.
We out here. Oh.